Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ZombiesLvBacon podcast, episode 90. Still here, still not cancelled. This week's podcast I am calling Annoying and Interrupting My Zelda Playthrough, but we're going to do it anyway.
You'll definitely come across a lot of creeps.
Where have all these cancelable opinions?
You guys keep your boots at 60 feet.
That was a picture of my boots.
That's it, that's the title of the podcast.
They're rock hard.
That's great advice.
Hello, and welcome on in, everybody. Hello, Shelby is here once again.
Hello.
And Tame looks very different this week. Welcome in Crit Happens Gaming for his first time on the ZLB podcast.
Hello.
And I'm going to assume that you probably haven't listened to the podcast before either.
I was here last week, the week before that, and the week before that, funnily enough.
Okay, all right, good. That's all right. So, but you don't know the old stuff, so that's fine. It's good.
Yes.
We don't need to refer to the
the
frog incident or the. There's a couple of episodes that really stand out, not for good reasons necessarily.
Anything that's below level, like 50 episodes, don't watch under episode 50. It's just not good.
There's a podcast that's called And Then There's Frog. Totally normal podcast, goes for an hour and a half, and in the last 10 minutes we were this close to being cancelled.
It was going really well too. I was so mad because we made some really good content that day. We're having good chats, and then he just comes in as a filthy degenerate and ruins everything.
Yeah, it was quite literally. Frog went, "Hey, you want to hear a fucked up story?" It's like, no, we're finishing the podcast, and then he just told us anyway.
We learned lessons.
Welcome on in. It is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to mothers out there. It's a day. I don't know. I don't really care. But it's
Get me a sausage McMuffin for Mother's Day as a mother of your cat. So.
Yeah, well, Chip got your breakfast and bread from McDonald's. It definitely wasn't because I wanted 2 coffees this morning to fire up.
Don't know why you'd want 2 coffees spending all that time playing Zelda.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah.
Do you want to tell the listeners at home like how many hours you've been playing Zelda since Friday?
Well, Zelda came out on Friday, and it's now Sunday evening. And
yes.
Let me see, 40
yes.
hours. I've played it for 40 hours.
In fact, you were just streaming it like 10 minutes ago, and then we had. So it says that this live stream, if you're here watching, it says it's 8 hours long. We've been definitely not recording this podcast for 8 hours. It's all Zelda, baby.
Look, I don't know what to tell you.
It's been 83 years.
I very much knew that I wasn't going to have a boyfriend this weekend. So I made peace with that.
Look, we're not going to talk too much about Zelda because it is a brand new game, and I am very far ahead compared to some people that like have jobs and stuff, and like so I'm not going to spoil anything.
The definition of no life.
I definitely know lifing it. I mean, it's like the reviews dropped, and I don't know. I didn't even think. I'm like, oh yeah, people review this game because I was like, it's a Zelda game. Everyone's going to buy it. Like people have already made their mind up whether or not they're going to buy it. And then
It was like us in Dead Island 2 as well.
We're already committed to it.
I never even seen the reviews on Dead Island 2 until after I'd done all the streams. I'm like, oh, it probably should. Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't it get reviewed well? I didn't actually look either.
Average would be the term.
Average is what I expected.
But, okay, but hang on. So this is the thing, though, right? Dead Island 1 also average. So it's
Dead Island's one of those franchises. It's like a cult franchise. You know, the people who love it really fucking love it, and the other people are just like, it's okay.
Yeah. So I'm the same. Like I didn't look at reviews or anything. I'm like, I like the first game. I'm going to play the sequel. No problems. Then like if you flip around to like Redfall, where Redfall was like really hyped for it. And then I started to see like the marketing train ramping up, and I'm like, actually, I don't know. I'm kind of whatever on this now. Might just see how it plays out, which was the plan. But then, so I just stopped looking at shit because I wasn't interested anymore, right? Then Bethesda sent me a key, and they're like, hey man, would you like to play some Redfall? And I'm like, okay, we'll slot it in. I was hyped for it, so let's give it a go. And played it. We did a night. And look, I was indifferent to it, but like I did like a little thing where I put my thoughts at the end. I'm like, this is what I think is good. This is what I think is bad. Figure it out yourselves. And then I looked at the reviews, and all the reviews were saying the same shit, but in a much more brutal way. And I'm like, oh, okay, wasn't just me.
Here's the thing, and this goes back to, we've talked a few times in the podcast about going to movie premieres and previews, and how it feels like sometimes the more effort they put into those events and marketing is like the more worried they are about the reviews that'll come out.
Yep.
Let's like look at Redfall. They did some massive launch events. They did like a lot of tie-ins with different products and stuff like that.
Because before we get too into Redfall, because there is some fucking great Redfall stuff to talk about. Just with going back to reviewing and everything, I just assumed that Zelda was going to come out. It was going to be the same as Breath of the Wild, and therefore everyone's just going to play it and love it, and no one's going to hate it, and it's going to be fine. And I'm like, then the reviews dropped, and I was like, oh yeah, people have to actually play this game and review it and tell us whether or not it's good. And then they all were like 10s across the board, basically.
Yeah.
Except for one guy who did 6.5, but he obviously just has huge balls and really wanted to.
He made some good points.
I didn't look at it. I don't care. I was going to play it anyway. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the best game I've ever played in my life. So,
well, as Max said in Super Troopers, don't worry about that little guy.
That's exactly it. So going back to Redfall, because I forget what the name of the podcast is. The Xcast, I think it is. It's the Kind of Funny Crew Extended Family podcast. It's all Xbox themed. They had Phil Spencer signed in to be a guest on their podcast, which had been organized, well in advance, but it just happened to fall just after Redfall came out and the fallout from Redfall came out. And Phil Spencer, Top G, is just like, oh, I'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. And was just openly honest about how the whole situation is. Key takeouts were when Microsoft come in and they purchase, a deal, make a deal with these third party, first party, whatever they kind of call them. He openly admits if they have like projects already in the go, they just let them do it, what they're doing. They kind of only involved in projects that they start themselves.
Yeah.
Where Redfall was well and truly in development, so they kind of just said, "Oh, well, you guys got this under control. Looks good." And then, so that was red flag number one. They probably should have had a look at what was going on. Number two was everyone who played it internally thought it was really good. Or at least they said they did. That kind of is a red flag as well. So it's just like
they're probably like yes men's on this stuff.
Well, I think to a degree, yeah. I don't think anyone wants to put their hand up and say, you know what? I think this thing we've been working on for years is kind of shit.
Yeah, look, Bethesda is really good, but it's also very old now, and I feel like a lot of the people who work at Bethesda now are Bethesda fanboys, which that can also impact how they feel about.
But in this case, we're talking about Arcane, where they've kind of niche at best on a lot of things, but at the same time, they do have their cult following that goes with it and says Arcane's the best. I'll fuck with a Dishonored game no matter where you put it, kind of thing. So that was number two, which they probably should have done some external testing or something like that. Which I won't mention who, but I've been involved in external testing for some games where you sign 400 fucking documents saying you won't leak anything because the game's not even announced yet, and it's a real process where. Play a game for 2 hours, get sent a 36-page survey on how you felt about it. It's when you collected this and you hear this ting noise. How does this make you feel? It's like, good.
I feel tinged.
So that was that. And then they came to the point, and I think they had a whole conversation about how they were disappointed by it. And now it's got a broad Xbox under fire because it's the first time Xbox has got a first-party game essentially coming out. Since the whole merger or not merger, I don't even know how that technically sits at the moment. They say it's merged, but there's been blocked, so I don't know. Anyway, the interesting bit was when they go, okay, well, why didn't they delay it? Why didn't they just delay the game until it was better? And the way that it's explained, in lots of business terms, but the short version is, sometimes you look at something that is, like it's ready to be launched, and you go, a delay is not going to make it any better. And you release it anyway.
Yeah, we throw a whole bunch of marketing hype behind it.
Yep.
And we hope that it doesn't fall flat in its face like Fallout 74.
Yep. If you read between the lines, they go, we know it's bad, but 6 months working on it's not going to make it any better. Time to release the game, time to get some money back in the bank, and move on.
This is what I say when I say I think a lot of people, when they have a game or a film coming out, they push the marketing really hard when they're worried that it's going to fall flat. So the more marketing that something has on, the more suspicious I am. That's like all the previews and stuff we go to.
Yeah, absolutely. But then there's a lot of arguments now, and there's a great thing. Film Theory did an excellent YouTube video on how critics are just out of touch with the common man now, and that's why we're seeing so many things on Rotten Tomatoes where it's
Critics
hate it,
Audience
and
loves
audience
it.
loves it, so on.
Mario
So
movie was the main example.
Mario's the example because everyone's like, well, hang on, is the movie good or bad? And the thing is, and I've mentioned it so many fucking times on this podcast, but the thing that I learned when I was like studying media and film and television, there is a difference between a good film and an entertaining film.
Yes, very much so.
Mario is very heavily in that entertainment side. It's not going to be winning any Oscars or anything anytime soon. It's not like Pixar where it's trying to take on adult themes while coding it in child colors. It's nothing like that. It's
not
big
artsy.
flashing colors for child to be entertained by. You can chuck that shit on loop and a 4-year-old won't leave the couch. It's amazing. Like that's what it's for, but critics hate it. So then when it came to like doing the reviewing thing of it, because we are somewhat involved in that now because we go to the preview screenings, they only wanted high energy, young family influencers showing up to those preview screenings. And then if you were in media, you got to see it in gold class at 9 a.m. on a Friday. That was it. And it's like,
Which doesn't, I wouldn't. wanna
because
do that.
they wanted to
No.
control the narrative. They wanted everything that's going pumping out onto social media on launch day. They wanted, look at all this. The kids loved it. Not, this critic gave it 4 out of 10 because what the fuck's a Mario? It's like, it's that sort of thing. So it's interesting, but it's, the whole Redfall thing is, I think it's a fine game for Game Pass. I would be pissed off if I spent $70 on it.
Yeah, and that's why like those sort of games, I was actually really excited for it. I've loved all the Dishonored games. I've actually played multiple copies on stream, and I heard, oh yeah, they're releasing it. I'll give it a whirl, and then I saw all the reviews and went, ooh, I think I might not touch that for a little bit.
Do you have Game Pass?
I do.
He's not even going to play it on Game Pass.
I haven't installed it off Game Pass yet. So.
It's that bad. It's like, whoa, it's not even worth my disk
It's just
space.
it's not really a priority to play. Maybe at some point, if like a friend goes, "Well, you want
Yeah.
to play Redfall? Like it's free on Game Pass." I'll be like, "Yeah, okay," but I'm not rushing out to do it. I'm not trying
Bingo.
to install it.
It's like Marauders. I played Marauders as soon as it hit Game Pass. I'm like, you beauty, and I sat there and went, this game's awful, and promptly uninstalled it.
Yeah, it was a half-baked cake at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've also seen a lot of similarities between Redfall and Cyberpunk as well. They're basically saying, oh, it took so long, and basically
Cyberpunk had the story, though. Redfall doesn't. It's as simple as that. It's closer to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
But
76, sorry, not 74.
74.
Yeah, I
76.
noticed you said that before. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm, not
I know,
gonna-
I'm like, I think that number, and I sat back going, think the number's wrong, but
76 is maybe the only game I've ever refunded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Because I had a
76, I remember.
game-breaking bug. Like there was a guy that was dead
Oh, right.
in that server, and you needed a quest. You needed to kill the guy, but he was dead, so you could
He
just
wouldn't respawn for anyone.
couldn't respawn, so I couldn't play the game.
I actually got really excited for Fallout 76, and I had a code for the beta, and I joined it. And I was actually living at my brother's house at the time because I was house sitting for him. And I took my whole PC with me because I was like, I'm going to play Fallout 76. I'm excited. Stayed up, installed it and everything like that. I was so disappointed. I was like, this world feels dead. I feel very sad being here. And then I actually uninstalled it and I haven't actually played it since.
They've put a lot of work in it.
I was going to say, yeah, I've heard it's now a lot better. And maybe I should give it a go.
Well, the thing is that the thing they didn't have and the thing they've got now that actually makes it playable is they have NPCs that give you a story. So you can go and play a Fallout game.
Yeah.
No,
Because
you don't just go to a
originally-
Fallout world and wander around aimlessly with other people. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because originally there was like a whole story about like they were wiped out for disease or something like that.
So-
I think. And,
yeah. With that all in mind, Fallout is a much bigger franchise. It can survive this. Redfall is a brand new franchise.
Oh, yeah.
It's not coming back. They're not going to work
No.
on it. They're going to walk away from it. It's going to get buried. I'm calling
Yeah.
it now. And you know what? The people were like, well, it's a Game Pass game, but we can't really get numbers. But if we were to go by the numbers like Steam, it peaked at 400 people playing it once.
Whoa, look out.
So,
That's rough.
and then I think it might have been Skill Up. They did like a breakdown or something on it. I think I saw it. And they're like, just to put that in perspective, currently 1,400 people playing Borderlands 2. So Yeah, it's like it's not coming back.
Well,
They
and they've still got it for 119.95 on Steam for the base edition.
like
164.95 for buyback.
I don't think I don't think they've got a plan. Like their original plan was the next step was to make it 60 frames. 60 frames ain't gonna save that game.
No.
So yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's as simple as that. I don't think it's coming back. I think it's buried.
Yeah.
I think there's too much other stuff to play that's decent. There's so many other games coming out or out already that are good. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's just shit, honestly.
So I've just looked at the customer reviews on Steam itself for it. 32% of the 1,595 user reviews for this game are positive.
Dreaming.
No, that's just Steam. That's
Yeah.
just Steam players, not Xbox, not Game Pass for PC or any of that sort of thing.
I think what we're kind of getting at anyway, in the greater scheme of things, is reviews mean nothing. So, Redfall reviews, because like all the reviews drop for Zelda, and then what do people do? They review bomb it because we can't have nice things. So it's as simple as that.
I've listened not to. I've realized not to really listen to reviews, which
Yeah.
is funny because I run a website where I post reviews. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to reviewers. We know nothing. But I think one of the part of the video that I heard you watching the other night about reviews was like find some people who review games and stuff that you like and your values align with them, and then you can kind of get an aggregate from
Yeah.
those. Probably
Yeah.
don't necessarily listen to the big outlets.
So a
all
great
the
great
time.
example, right? If you listen to IGN, and we'll talk about IGN fucking things over in a second, but if you talk about IGN, maybe you agree with a couple people that work there, maybe go follow their social media and see
Yes.
what they say. Don't blindly go, oh, IGN's never treated me wrong. Who knows who's
Yeah.
fucking reviewing it? And
That's
they
particularly for Kotaku. Kotaku's a hot mess.
well, there's a lot. There's actually a lot of tea going around at the moment.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
IGN first though. The lowest scores they give is a 7 because they don't play games that are less than 7. That is
That's so
from
lame.
that's from them. They said that.
Oh,
Why? I don't know. Like I remember seeing, like I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video and they're like, "Hey man, why do we all give so many games a 7?" And then they sort of go on to say, "Well, if we're reviewing it, it's a decent game, so normally it will get pretty high, like a 7. If
I hate
if
that.
we haven't heard of it, then it's probably not a good game and we won't review it."
What if so that this is obviously they don't really
They decide whether or not the game's good before they even review it.
yeah they never actually seem to review indie games unless it's something that's popped off and exploded,
yeah.
and then they've come out with a review.
Also, total side note, but it was IGN's coverage of Redfall that really sold me never wanting to play it. Because
Wow.
Wow.
they played it so awful. It's like boring. Anyway, so IGN said that, and I saw the video and I'm like, that's a bad take. Just kept scrolling, and then they got cancelled for it. Essentially, they got taken down a peg or two, had to delete it, had to make a statement. Mind you, IGN's just a fucking. It's just shit practice, really. So my theory is, because it's always a bit of a, do I want to get into like the media side of things and do reviews, or do I want to get into the more entertainment side of things and whatever? And I think what's better now for everything is people actually just talking about the experience rather than trying to review this is the graphics, this is the
Yeah.
gameplay,
Yes.
whatever. I had fun because these things were fun and these things were not fun.
That's like how I structure my film reviews at the moment. I'm like, I like this part, this part, this part. Oh, I thought the music was really nice.
You can enjoy hot
Um,
trash. It's fine.
Yeah, and I do like hot trash on the regular. So
But Kotaku, this will segue into a topic that I've put down there, but Kotaku's had a lot of beef with Nintendo in particular.
mhm.
Didn't get invited to the Nintendo preview for Tears of the Kingdom.
They're not allowed to review Zelda
Spoke
games.
out about how they've been sort of blacklisted from Nintendo, but
Mm-hmm.
in a well, wish we could really review Nintendo games to our millions of followers, but we can't because Nintendo won't invite us.
I
Then
wonder why.
then we're like, hey, here's all the leaks we've seen from Zelda. Check it out. Here's an article with all the leaks from Zelda from all the leaked copies. Right.
I hate that.
Excellent. Good work there, buddy. You are
I
really
wonder why
fucking...
they weren't invited.
Well, the big thing they weren't invited was that the Metroid Dread ran like shit on the Switch. So they said, hey, here's the way to play it on your PC through emulation and ROMs.
Well, that's pretty bad for a big
Technically
company.
not illegal if you buy the game still. But also you're teaching everyone how to pirate.
Yes.
You're also promoting piracy at that point as well.
So why wonder why Nintendo's pissed? And Tears of the Kingdom
won't read.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom dropped 2 weeks in advance. People got hands on physical versions of it.
And leaked it.
Ripped it up, chucked it on the internet immediately. You could be in an emulator. You could be playing Tears of the Kingdom 2 weeks ago. It's but so
you'd be speedrunning it by now if that was the case.
well, there's some very detailed guides out already. It's really weird, you know. It's only been out for a few days. How do they know all this stuff? Because once it's online as well, data mine the shit out of it. Like it's the way they go.
Get in those files.
It's wild. And
Yes.
so Nintendo obviously lawyered the fuck up, and anyone who was even thinking about touching the pirated version of Tears of the Kingdom before it comes out got their hands chopped off. In some cases, streamers got their accounts fully banned from Twitch for watching trailers because they got mistaken for maybe streaming the game early.
Oh,
There's a lot of mess.
A lot of mess. So
Nintendo takes the piracy stuff extremely seriously. More than any other game company out there.
yeah. So this segues into something. So first of all, Tears of the Kingdom, very big game, running on the Switch, which is 6 years old now. I think 6, or maybe more. 6 years old. The last Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game. They got ported to the Switch, so this is the first Switch-only Zelda game. It runs at maybe 30 frames, 720p most of the time. But
Sometimes it looks like a little bit.
if you build a giant penis out of tree stumps, then you start to drop frames because it's like, why are you trying to stick 37 trees together? I'm like, well, you created the mechanic, man. I'm just working with the tools you gave.
You're just building a woodcock. I don't know. It's just that's what most people I've seen have been doing in the game.
If they give you the mechanic to build anything,
somebody will make a penis.
You can literally do whatever you want.
Exactly.
You can do whatever the fuck you want in the game. I haven't seen anyone break it. Yeah.
No, but I just want to reiterate though. That's also if any game has a drawing mechanic of any kind, somebody will draw a penis.
Yep.
Because in the Road 96's prequel game, Eladi tattooed a penis on somebody. In like a really dramatic, like emotional connection scene in the game, he draws
Sponsored
a penis.
stream too.
Sponsored stream.
oh no!
He's like the poster child for bad.
But also,
female decisions.
when Red Dead 2 came out and the opening sequence in the snow, everyone just drew a penis in the snow immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's normal.
guilty.
It's normal. See? Yeah, it's totally normal. So the first comment I'd make is, if Zelda doesn't run at barely 30 frames, then Redfall at 60 frames is not going to make it a better game. So frames aren't the answer. Having said that, I did notice, I won't out them because I think they kind of wanted to fly a little bit under the radar with the whole thing, but a friend of mine purchased the game, went home, and isn't playing it on his Switch, he's playing it on his computer. Because he's at 1080p, 60 frames a second, Tears of the Kingdom. It runs like a fucking dream on his PC. And it looks weird.
What was a cap card potentially into PC?
No, he's playing the emulation. It's a ROM.
I think that the 30 frames is actually part of the art style experience of the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
It's weird seeing it. Like it's the same thing with the Pokemon game. Same thing.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, if I rip this and put this on my computer and just play it through an emulator, it runs so much better." Here's Pokemon Scarlet at 60 frames a second, and it did. It looked amazing.
Some games though don't have to be so smooth.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Like,
it does look nice.
It's like the latest Monkey Island release, the Return to Monkey Island game.
Yeah.
It's too smooth, right?
Well, no, the graphics, they actually made it look like that to bring
Do the old
players like myself to go, "Oh, this is amazing."
It's like when they ported Ocarina of Time and stuff to 3DS, they kept all the bugs in there because people were used to playing the game with the bugs. so they like keep it in. And then on the flip side, I'm playing Advance Wars as well off stream because it takes me 4 hours to do one mission. It's so pretty and so smooth. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I much prefer the Game Boy Advance graphics.
Well, it's like GoldenEye has been ported now to Xbox, and it's on Game Pass at the moment.
Yeah, we played it. We played through it on Game Pass, and it was okay. I did, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently,
I wish they'd had given it a little bit of a tune-up myself, but
well, apparently the pixels are there. They're just what they're showing you is the old style still. So it's 4K giant pixels.
It just means that it's not going to be fuzzy looking when it upsizes. It's upscaled.
Yeah. So
I mean, I've been
weird.
playing still Shadows of Doubt all week, and it's I talked about it last podcast, but it's all voxel based, so it's all basically looks like Minecraft, but it's a murder mystery.
Oh,
and like
nice.
that's like it like looks like it should be low quality, but I mean it does run like dog crap at high graphics. But it's like simplistic, and I love that.
It does
about
have
it.
like incredible amount of like coloring and shading and lighting and smoke
Yeah.
and physics.
It's a
and-
noir, like
sort of like when people play
detective
Minecraft
mystery.
in 4K. It's
Yeah. But I just mean like I like simplistic art styles like voxel based stuff and pixel stuff.
Oh, I do too. Absolutely. And I think that's what they should have done with Advance Wars. Instead, they kind of made it like cartoon. It's just so perfect. It's too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. I like the idea, and particularly as a streamer, of taking older games and then like, what is the best version I can get of this game? Like, how can I make this not look like ass when you put it? And retro is really hard, particularly when you go back to like CRT world, because like back then games were designed to look good on a CRT, and then when you see the emulated version on
The
digital,
scan lines make such a huge difference. The lines on a
Oh, yeah.
CRT monitor, which means there's even a lot of like the emulation devices. I mean, not emulation devices, like the mini consoles have the option to turn scan lines on artificially on your display just to make them look better because pixel
still-
stuff looks more detailed with scan lines.
it's still even with scan lines on a digital screen looks different and looks weird.
yeah.
So it's a lot of the time it's going through, and this is in-depth forums on, hey, this is the best way to play this game. It's like when I played Ocarina of Time. I started playing it on 64, the OG, and then I was like, this is rough. When this gets out at 1080p and goes up on stream, it's rough. Like you can see the pixels. Then I looked it up, and it's like every single version of the game ported to the digital eShop, the GameCube Master Quest version. Every time they did a tune-up, but in different ways. So I figured out the best version, apart from the actual remaster, which is on 3DS, so it's no good to us in the streaming version, unless I emulate it.
yeah.
The best version was the Wii Virtual Console. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't help me because I'm not going to be able to find a copy of this for the Virtual Console on my Wii. So then I ended up looking up, and it was like, this is how you emulate it. These are all the settings to make it look like 4K. And like I tuned it the fuck out, and it was like putting your glasses on. It was like whoa! I can see shit now. I can see far away. This is nuts.
It's so pretty.
But then you just get pissed off because Nintendo doesn't do that for you, and just fucking port it to Switch and make it so I just buy it and it fucking works. so what do I have to do the work? But yeah, it's wild that people now are like, Switch is old hardware. Computers are super fucking powerful now from 6 years ago. I'd rather emulate the game on PC than play it on my Switch because it's a better game. That's where they're at now, which is wild. So I'm predicting we will hear about a new Nintendo, at least at the very least a rumor by the end of the year,
Yes.
because they've done
I always
Zelda
hear
now.
about rumors.
They've done Zelda now. They're good.
All
Well,
right,
there
I
won't
think
be
we
an
need.
E3, so
Yeah, well, no.
But Nintendo didn't go last time anyway. 'Cause
They're very anti E3 for a couple of years now.
well, they figured out that they get the same results just putting a YouTube video up.
yeah.
Disclaimer: if anyone from Nintendo is listening to this, we do not endorse piracy of any kind. You should always buy Nintendo products and use them on your Nintendo devices. Yeah.
No,
Don't blacklist it. No. Hey.
Nintendo, port them to Switch, you fucking cowards. Don't make me have to do it myself. Put all the Zelda games on the Switch. You can have my money. Do you not like money?
They love money.
Fucking do it, you cowards. Fucking do it. Or ban Shelby's channel. Whatever. Don't ban me. I want to play Zelda.
I only streamed Switch a few times.
It's fucking wild. Anyway, yeah, it's Zelda's out. It's 10s across the board, and rightly so. It does a lot of things really well.
It's neat.
I'm waiting. I look forward to the future in like a month when people are all sort of played it or played through it or done their bit, and we can all sort of go, "Hey, did you see this fucking thing? Because that's nuts." At the moment, I'm a little bit far ahead, so there's no spoilers for me. But I'm like watching other people's streams, and I see them walk past stuff that's so important. I'm like, I don't want to backseat this, but go back.
I was the same with Dead Island 2. I'd watch people doing it. It's like, and you see them trying to get into a door, and you're like,
Yep.
It doesn't open. Like, you got to go do this first, and then you can get in that door.
Someone walks into the hotel, and they're like, "Oh no, the door's shut to the ballroom." Oh, you know what it'll be? It'll be that fucking generator that I saw at the house where we started. And then he just starts walking all the way back, and I'm just like, no!
Wild.
But also, he was like, he was barely reading chat, so I was like, even if I said anything, he's going to see it. By the time he sees it, he's going to be halfway home, and then he's going to think that I mean the other fucking generator, and it's just, I'm like, I give up. I just die of cringe. I get that's what you get for playing day one, I guess, is you have to watch everyone else. And it's like, oh man,
You sweaty day one, boys.
oh, people we were like, this guy's like, he's like fighting this boss for ages, and I'm like, I'm gonna say something. I'm like, hey man, that boss is actually for a side quest you're about to get. So if you kill him now, you're gonna be killing him again in half an hour. And he's like, oh, continues to kill him anyway. I'm like, all right, he doesn't get it.
Hey, experience is experience.
Yeah.
But I want to get to that period where we can be like, hey man, did you get this or did you get that, and sort of start sharing. But at the moment, it's like every man and his dog's like, this is my fucking game, this is my story, don't you fucking talk about it. This is me, my experience. Don't talk to me about it. Watch, but don't talk to me, because it's like, it wasn't too bad on day one because I think a lot of people would like that anyway. But like last night, for example, I think I had like 50 friends or something that were live, and I think 30 of them were playing Zelda.
Well, that was what we were looking at. We're like, there's a Zelda streamer, there's a Zelda streamer, there's, hey, look, a Zelda streamer.
Yeah. But then, okay, but I just want to be clear. There are Zelda streamers, and then there is, I'm playing Zelda because it's cool. I've never played this game before. What am I doing? Tee-hee, look at me go. And then there's me, like, oh my God, that is the ancestor of the person that you see in Skyward Sword in the distance.
Boy.
And it's like it's
Zelda's
so good.
the only series where I think Aladi actually pays attention to the lore.
Did you go to the panel at last year's PAX?
No.
They actually had a panel which discussed the timeline in depth.
Yes.
How it all links together.
I have all the books. I have all the books. I have all the Hysteria books. Look, it's like you just go to YouTube and you go full Zelda story, start to finish, everything. And it comes up with like an 8-hour video. And I go, yes, please. Strap me the fuck in. Let's go. It's
happy place.
Well, the thing is, I've been playing Zelda for 20 years. It's easy. So it's
and
like,
I don't play Zelda, so it's
no, but you should, because it's a fucking perfect game. Okay, but it's the thing is, right? This is the thing, because now people are like, hey, I don't have a Nintendo, or I've never played a Zelda game. What's all the fuss about? And it's like, well, hang on, it's not the first 10 that it's got. It's got many 10s, Zelda.
Yeah,
you should at least try it.
Okay, fine. While there's witnesses, I will play Breath of the Wild.
Pip it.
I will do it.
Don't play Breath of the Wild.
No, why not?
Breath of the Wild is like...
And then I'll play Tears of the Kingdom when you're done with it.
Put it this way. No, put it this way. All right. Breath of the Wild is like... You're not free range, but like farm range. Like you have...
Yeah.
They just drop you in a paddock, and that's it. You just figure out
free range chicken life,
but you will never finish or get close to finishing it. You probably won't even do the starting mission.
Are you saying I get distracted?
That's what the whole point. This is how Breath of the Wild works. All right, Breath of the Wild goes, "Hey, you're awake. You should really like put some pants on. Here's your pants. You know, you should really try and help the princess. Here's a sword and a shield. Kill Ganon.
I'll do it.
And then if you kill Ganon, it's over. That's the whole game. You can do everything.
I have heard that there is a way of actually killing him.
You can.
Like, literally, you get your pants, you get your sword and shield, and you go and kill. You actually
Yep.
just
So
go and kill
I've done
Ganon.
it as
I have seen that,
I've done it as a meme because it's funny. Because you rock up with 3 hearts and a stick, and you're like, "Here we go!" But people do it; they fucking finish it. But basically, the way it works is if you don't, because the whole purpose of Breath of the Wild is you go to you see the sages or the divine beasts or whatever, and then they all agree to help you, like they're going to help you kill Ganon. If you don't do that, then all the enemies that you would have killed in their divine beasts, so the boss from each of them, are there with Ganon waiting for you. So you have to kill 4 bosses and Ganon
with 3
hearts and a stick
and a dream.
And you can do it, and you finish the game, and the game will go pat you on the back for doing it. It's absolutely possible to do because there is no right or wrong way to play that game. You just play the game. And you like some people don't even get the Master Sword. The Master Sword is an optional quest. It's a big part of the game. But
Let's not discuss the Master Sword and its various pieces.
Yes. Anyway, so my point is, you could play a linear game that actually says, "Go here, kill this. Go here, kill that," and it'd be a much better experience than Breath of the Wild, which is like, "Hey there, Mr. Man with the sword and shield."
I like being a free-range chicken in games.
Just do it. That's fine. That's fine. But like, I finished the first Zelda Breath of the Wild. I finished in one sitting. Well, what I say, one sitting. I streamed for like 20 hours, slept for 6, woke up and streamed for 20 hours, and we're done. So it was good. But then when I started watching other people play it, they're like, "Hey, when you're in the snow level, put a fire aspect sword on your back and it'll keep you warm." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know that.
That's an amazing idea.
I'm like, I didn't know that. I was fucking lighting trees on fire as I was running past trying to keep warm. I was like,
I feel like Chris is writing down that idea for D&D or something.
it's a nuts thing. And then there's like, oh, you need to get like some verticality. Light the grass on fire. Use the upward draft to use this thing to go up. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's like, what the fuck? So it's
I've found that one.
So many different things that are built into the game where you just go, I wonder if this will work, and it does because they've thought of it. There's a great one I saw on Reddit, not a spoiler or anything, but for Tears of the Kingdom, one of the abilities is you can go up. So if there's a roof above you, you can go up and through the roof. That is an ability.
I love the animation for that.
So
it
looks
like you're literally swimming into the.
I love it how you pop your head up as well, and you're like, yep. Oh, and you could go nope, and just go straight back down as well.
Oh, nice.
But someone's like, there was a chest hanging, and it's like, I wonder, and then they just went straight up and through the chest that was hanging in the breeze, and then you can chop it down and open it up and do whatever. And it's just like, okay. And then there's obviously
it's unique ways to actually use those abilities.
Yeah, then there's obviously you can just build a giant penis that shoots rockets if you want to. It's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's but it's free range, like super open. You know, there's no guiding, no nothing. They give you vague aspects of what maybe you should do. You you talk to some random guy sitting next to a tree, and he'll say this other person had a great idea. You find this other person 3 hours later, and he tells you about the dickhead under the tree, and if you had to hit him, he would have gave you a sword or something. It's like it's breadcrumbs at best. So
it sounds like me and D&D and some of the D&D games I've written.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I think that sort of like because D&D is like there's not really a limitation. You can ask the question most of the time, and you know if it's doable, you roll the dice and away you go. Yeah. I feel like Breath of the Wild in particular is like if you feel like doing it and you can do it, then do it. It's whatever.
Well, I never attacked with any weapons at all.
Yeah,
I'd use the bombs and that's it.
Yeah, it's
like, yeah. There's all these enemies down a hill. Hey, look, I've got a round object that explodes. Yeah, 1 and 1 make explosion. Kaboom.
Yeah. So the Tears of the Kingdom don't give you bombs. But you can get bombs. But then also, you can. So if you get anything you get, you can stick to something else. Is the shortest version.
I've seen you sticking stuff to other stuff.
So but then I've seen other people like already, and I've sort of stayed off social media because I don't want spoilers and stuff like that. But just like it's like first thing I did was like, I could stick this mushroom to this arrow. I wonder what it does. It does fucking nothing, but I can do it. Just shot a mushroom at someone, and they're like, well, "Excuse me, that's fucking rude." But it's like you can get. So the perfect example is there's a shrine where one of the machines you get that is powered, part of the new sort of system, is a tank. I'm just like little tank that you just send off into battle. But I'm like, it doesn't shoot anyone. Why doesn't it shoot? And then I found cannons. Then you can stick 7 cannons on the tank and send it off, and it'll just shoot 7 cannons continuously. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I stuck 3 flamethrowers on it as well. So then it's just like you just see fire and boom-booms going off, and it's just like, and I'm like, this is awesome. How do I get this? Because I can know that you'll be able to get it. You'll be able to stick it to your shield. So every time you pull your shield up, you can just shoot a fucking tank bullet at someone.
It's cool.
It's all these different aspects to it, which is we're only scratching the surface. It's gonna be Reddit content for fucking months.
Why am I now seeing a laddie with a shield with a flamethrower, 2 cannons, and like a bomb launcher?
Flamethrower shield is a thing that I learnt today. Fucking awesome. Every time you put your shield up, just shoots fire at people. Fucking awesome. The one that I didn't realize was the rockets that you find that you stick to your little gliders so you can rocket your way around the map. You can stick it to your shield as well. And then you become Iron Man. So when you put your shield up, it shoots the rocket and you can just shoot straight up into the sky and then get the fucking... I'm just like, what did I think of that? And then Biggie pointed out that you can take a minecart, stick it to your shield. So then when you're running, you just flip over, instead of doing like you surf on the shield, which you can in Breath and Wild, you can surf on like minecart tracks. You just jump on it and just fucking Tony Hawk grind it all the way down. At no point does the game suggest you should do this. This is just curiosity. That's it. You just think about it and go, I wonder if this works.
Yeah, I think the appropriate line is for science.
Science, yeah. And I mean, it's I suppose on the downside, I guess, as if there's a downside. I don't know if it's really a downside, but the game will be like, here's a huge gap. I need you to go to the town and meet this person who's going to find this horse and take you around up the mountain. And then, like, no, I'm going to chop down 30 trees and stick them together and go across this gap now. See ya. I'm like, I don't know how much game I've missed because I'm just like, yeah, fuck you, man. I'm just going my own way. Don't you tell me how to play. It's like I was in a temple before, and it's like, you pour water into the lava, makes a rock. Take the rock out, pour more water, makes another rock. Stick them together. Get 20 rocks, make a rock bridge. Pick the rock bridge up, cover the gap. Fuck going around. And then like I go across the bridge, do what I need to do, and then I'm like, wonder what this door's here. And then you open it up, and it's clearly like that was meant to be the entry. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the level I missed. Don't worry about that.
So that's how I get in there.
Literally that. So it's freedom to do whatever the fuck you want, but also kind of just break the game constantly. Hats off to them though, like because it's very rarely can you like, fully break the game. Like you don't really clip through a wall or anything like that. They've definitely gave some pretty in-depth game testers to figure out, hey, I can see if you can break this. All right, I'm going to stick my 50 minecarts together and launch it on fire. I think I stuck like 20 rockets on one little platform once and just rode it off into the oblivion. It was fun. The game was fun. Something I wanted to talk about, wanted to bring up just briefly. We talked about people getting banned from Twitch. There was one particular, I'm going to say kid, because it was a kid, who got banned from Twitch because he was 7 years old.
Is this the guy, the little 7-year-old who was really good at killing people in that game? What game was it? He was sick, right?
Call of Duty or something like that.
He was in the top 7% of Call of Duty.
Amazing.
Also had over 1,000 followers on his Twitch account.
Jealous.
And got banned because he's a child.
Well, Twitch terms of service, terms of service at the end of the day.
Yeah, in 10 years or so, he'll be an esports legend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But also, how did a 7-year-old get it so right when there's so many people playing Call of Duty on Twitch that are just sort of dog shit?
Because he's good at it.
Because it's a novelty thing at that point. Like they're there to see.
It's not a novelty though, because he's in the top 7%. He's performing.
Well, yeah, no, but they're there to see why a 7-year-old is so good at COD. And see how he is so good at COD, sort of thing.
And then to train their children to be good at video games.
And they're like, oh, well, we'll follow him so that my kid can watch and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's 7, though. What were you doing when you were 7?
I was role-playing as a horse on the Saddle Club forums.
Were you in the top 7% of saddle clubs?
I won a lot of horse races.
Top 7?
And by that, I mean I wrote that I won a lot of horse races.
This kid he's making YouTube videos now and TikTok, so he's finding his niche anyway. But it's yeah, it was just the fact that he was 7, first of all, but also that he was fucking good at the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. So it comes back to the discussion that comes up at a lot of live events, like the panels and stuff we've done, where people are like, how do I be a streamer and stuff like that. It's like you have to be one or two things. You have to be entertaining, or if you're not entertaining, you have to be good at the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
exactly it.
in this case, you had to be either an adult
I am neither.
or you had to be good at the game. In this case, he was good at the game and a child. So, but yeah, he's just fully banned, and people are like, what the fuck? How's this kid smashing 1,000 followers? Yeah, smashing top 10 and fucking top 10% of Call of Duty streaming
Yeah,
before fucking getting into high school. It's kind of wild.
well, at that point, you then sit back and go, will they actually finish high school? Click here to find out.
Yeah, well,
There'll be articles in like 10 years be like, remember that COD kid? Here's what he's doing now.
I guarantee you that he's already, just from what I was reading, hanging out with Optic. So, Optic Gaming, they're sniffing around to sign him on. Child prodigy. Although, I mean, he's probably better than half of Optic, because Optic's kind of getting old these days.
Yeah.
And as you get older, the old reflexes are a little
true.
bit slower.
It's true. Kids are freaky.
I'm starting to sound like the old man from last night.
Yeah, the guy in the pub. And the guy in the chair. Yeah. We played D&D yesterday. For context, I feel like we should mention that to people. He
I was just an old man last night, nothing major.
Yeah, just old man.
It was interesting to watch. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, but also because it was like a one shot sort of thing, and everyone's.
Oh, I thought you was talking about watching the 7-year-old.
No, we're done with him. He's gone. He's gone back to school. He's gone to learn. He's gone to learn these 9 times tables now after fucking dominating COD.
Well, he got banned. He's had his experiment on Twitch. Now he can go to his science class and go, here's how social engineering works.
Yeah. But we played Dungeons and Dragons yesterday, a group of us from Team OC.
First time all as a group had played. Some have played
First
before.
time I played as well. Well, properly, I think I played once like 10 years ago, but it was garbage. But this was very good, and we completed it, and it was good. And Crit here was our game master.
Did you complete it? I'm pretty sure it was a to be continued. Really?
No, we finished it.
No, so basically, we left it on a cliffhanger.
That's it. See,
of the next one shot.
At least I was paying attention. Thank you very
But
much.
we cured the plague.
Did you though? I'm pretty sure you got someone killed.
I did kill somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As she said to the party in our early sessions, I basically said, look, do what you want. I'm not going to stop you unless it's something that's going to break the game.
Yeah.
Basically, putting ale-soaked cabbage on an open wound, well, doesn't end well.
No, it's not a good medicine. Imagine if that worked though. Imagine if I did like a natural 20 and it's just like miraculously the ale-soaked cabbage helped and saved a life, but unfortunately did not go in my favor. But it was good though. How did we rank as like a group compared to like the rest of the D&D groups you've ever?
For a group that's never played together, you guys did phenomenally.
Yay!
I've GM'd for a lot of groups over the years, and well, there are good groups and there are not so good groups. I did a first session of a campaign, and all they wanted to do was kill each other.
Oh wow!
I sat back, went okay.
Was there some unresolved tension between people out of the game in the group, or that they just wanted to fight? Like
Yeah, pretty much. And then they decided to pick a fight with the Gravedigger.
Oh,
the Gravedigger was 15 levels above them.
Excellent. That's what you like.
Yes, Raz, and some groups are utter shenanigans, like our my normal campaign table.
I'm all for shenanigans. I feel like there wasn't quite enough shenanigans. I feel like there was too much of yeah, you know what? I think we should solve this and move on to the next thing. And I'm like, no, go fucking shenanigans.
If we were going for a second one, like basically a 2-part one shot, basically there would have been a lot more shenanigans written into the game.
We had time.
Yeah, no, and I understand all that. I'm just saying from a viewer, there was definitely some very proactive, and people getting shit done. Where I would have probably asking a lot more questions.
For me, I was playing a character who she just wants to get the shit done and save everyone. So she,
Yep.
meet an NPC, start trying to interrogate him, start asking questions like, let's go ahead, let's do this, let's finish this puzzle. I think this is how we do it, because like she just wanted to get to help the population. That's her whole thing.
Yeah.
But I did have my share of gags anyway.
It was good,
You
and
kept waking up the bartender just trying to get the information about the plague.
Yeah. It's like, you said it was morning. It's morning now. Tell me all the information. I waited.
I'm sleeping.
no, it was very good, and it was good to see like be more of like a Team OC thing rather than this is Crit's thing or this is Shelby's thing, or
Yeah,
it was just
exactly.
like this is a bunch of people together doing a thing, and it's like majority of people rocked up and watched it and enjoyed it as far as I could tell. So
Yeah. And I think like part of the reason that the group worked well is because Ellie, Sassy, D, and I, like we all know each other quite well at the game. I've only met Crit you pretty much this year and like hung out, not as often, but like seen you in Twitch chats and stuff, and developing that rapport. But for those of us who are the players, like I know them all very well.
Yeah.
Which is good.
and
we're
that
all
always
entertainers as well.
Yeah, and that always bounces off each other. When you know the other players, you know what things will actually work with them and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah. And there wasn't somebody in the party who was trying to fuck everything that moves, and I know that's a problem in some D&D.
Oh, not in my games.
No, you don't allow it?
Oh no, they can do whatever
I
they
can
like.
try.
Just remember, the dragon isn't always female.
People try and fuck dragons? What are they, a donkey?
Wait, put it this way: it could be like a door. It's a bit more push than pull.
And sometimes the handles just completely fall off. So
Yeah.
Right,
It's good though, and I'm keen to do some more. It's just there's so many different components and stuff. I would never be able to be a game master, I think, because that seems like a full-on job.
Yeah, my problem has always been like I'm good with one shots where there's not as much combat, because like just like talking and solving stuff through conversations, no problem.
yeah,
It's when you go combat depth and it's like, well, you can use this spell here, or if you're offside there, then I'll have a attack here and you can't see this, your vision's that, or I'm like, I can't keep up with all that, I'm sorry.
Combat was making me nervous, but it's good having the website because we use Roll20 and having it all displayed on a screen, rather than when people were trying to get me into D&D like 10 years ago and it was just all just lines on paper, which is, I mean, it suits some people, but I'm such a visual person. I need like color, I need icons, I need my sheets there ready to go and all of that.
Bingo.
So it was
I do
much more
enjoy-
accessible.
Like there's a few that I've watched where they have like the big table with the big LCD screen with the different terrains and you put
Yeah.
the models on it. Like that's fucking sick. That's cool. But
The custom game tables are pretty nuts.
yeah, it's a whole thing once you get invested, I guess.
yeah, but those tables are also a very pretty penny. Like,
Yes.
I've
custom.
seen them go for like 10K plus.
Yeah, I've seen people like essentially make their own. Like they just buy a big screen TV, cheap one,
Yeah.
put it down, lay it down, put an image on it, stuff like that. That's all very cool, but it's again like for the amount that you're using it, it's a lot of money. But
Well, my favorite thing though is like the practical things. So like I like going at PAX to the tabletop area and seeing all the model kits and like the castles and stuff. And
Yeah.
I know that they're not all for D&D, but they're just so cool.
well, they
Like,
also, I mean, if you genuinely want to get into the more physical side of things, the Fortress has like their own thing every Sunday where they just have the DMs there, and you can just go sign up for a campaign and learn from people there.
Yeah,
You
so
don't-
that's like Adventures League. And basically you sit down at the table and just play, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Just play. You don't have to worry about setting it all up. There's someone else there that'll set it up, get it all ready for you. You just go
And
learn
even
the ropes.
sometimes they'll actually hand you a character sheet and go, here. Basically, here's your character. You're a level 3. You're a level 3 gnomish warrior.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Yeah, I saw him doing it last time when we were in the corner and I was eating a parma. I'm like, look at all these people playing D&D. Yum, yum, yum.
I think the one that I had 10 years ago, they did just hand me a character. But I think because of me and all of my experience with role-playing games, I've played them all my life, like different formats. Like I said, at age 7, I was role-playing as a horse at the Saddle Club forums. And then I was like role-playing as Star Wars on Habbo Hotel and like doing all sorts of different roleplay. And obviously now I'm developing a GTA roleplay server. We've talked about it a lot on the stream. On the
You
podcast.
are?
I am.
No
Come
way.
and see it.
You play roleplay?
But I that means like I'm so entangled in my characters, and if I have to design my character, I don't think I can play it with just a sheet that's given to me.
Yeah.
I need to like get in there and like get interested in. I was reading the lore about the species and like trying to get into it a bit, and I'm so focused on narrative a lot of the time.
That's fair.
Yeah. But you'll also notice with a lot of my games as well that I do a lot more maps. Like I'll do everything visual, so that you can basically sit down and go, yep, okay, this is where I actually am. This is what my room. This is what the room looks like. I give you a brief narration. I don't have to sit there for like 10 minutes going, so in the corner you see a pile of rocks. The pile of rocks actually have no meaning, but there's a pile of rocks there.
Yeah.
I have a short attention span, so the fact that there was pictures, it was good. I need pictures in my stories.
Yeah, I'm definitely
surprised no one went through the pile of rocks, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm the sort of person who'll be like, so these things here, what are they? Well, that thing there, what is this? Is this thing here for that? Can you describe this, please? And what is this? It's like, because it's like, I don't know. I like to refer to it as being the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. You got to test the fences every now and then. Sometimes, the power's off and you can get out and run amok.
So, the normal campaign group, I put mushrooms on a map. They were there for decoration only. They were there just purely to show that, hey, you're in hell and there is mushrooms. We ended up playing 3/4 of the session around those mushrooms.
Yep.
By the end of it, 2 of my players were hooked on mushrooms.
It's getting huffing mushrooms.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
cool.
That's the sort of thing players do. Yeah. And they won't go, hey, there's my objective. They'll go, hey, look, mushrooms.
Well, that's my point. Is if a lot of people were like behaving themselves and playing the objective, and I'm like, that's interesting. That's I was surprised that we didn't have at least one outlier who's like, ooh, shiny.
If it wasn't a one shot, I would have definitely been more like that. But I have to say, I've been afraid to get into D&D for a very long time, and like always wanting to try. So I have to say thank you, because that was a really well run and like a good introduction into it. So I can see myself doing more in the future.
Good. You're always welcome at the table.
Yay!
I have a question for Crit. Have you seen the
have an answer for you.
Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I have.
And
I
thoughts?
was not a fan. I was not a fan.
Why?
So because I've come from a lot of the older games and like the lore and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I stepped back and I went, that's not how that actually, like, I was pulling it apart from an actual D&D perspective. So, like, for example, and spoilers, if anyone hasn't seen it, apologies, but there will be spoilers ahead.
Should have seen it by now.
It's been like over a month, yeah.
Where they have the solid stone block above the gelatinous cube.
Yep.
Gelatinous cube is not actually a solid entity.
Yeah.
It's a big cube of jelly, literally.
So you're right. And
you would never be able to pull something out of it as a snake.
So I've watched
the snake wouldn't have enough HP to get out. It would die.
I've watched a couple breakdowns, and it seems like the jelly cube is a very contentious point.
Yeah.
And there weren't enough mimics. They needed more mimics.
I was surprised it took so long to see a mimic.
So from the way that this is explained, because I was interested, because first of all, I really like the fact that they did a lot of practical stuff in the movie.
Jonathan.
Oh, definitely.
Which is like, you don't see a lot of that lately, particularly
Jonathan's the Birdman was real.
Yeah, totally real. Yep, 100%. And in fact, almost every creature was perfectly real, and it made it feel like more authentic kind of thing, and not like we're trying to trick you with CGI kind of thing, which was cool. Totally liked all that, and I thought, this is interesting. It sounds like they put a lot of work in it. And then there was this whole thing where they ran D&D campaigns based on the story of the movie to see how they would play out, and then change some things to sort of match it, so that, like, if you were to roll high here, you'd get this kind of effect. If you roll low here, you'd get this kind of effect. That sort of thing, to make it play out in a similar sort of fashion. Cool. They also added stuff, tweaked some stuff for the new generation of D&D. So for the new rules and everything else, and there's also some I think there was some monsters or some species that they introduced from the movie, which are now getting introduced into the game going forward, because obviously they want people to, get indoctrinate them into the system and get them in.
Yeah, bingo.
Totally fine. Then when you get the old school people, it's kind of 50-50 whether or not they like it or not. They like aspects, but they don't like how they've misstepped on stuff that are existing and do have lore.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah.
And I'd sit definitely in that camp
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Which is interesting that they, like, obviously they have to do things that make sense for the movie. Right? They can't.
Yeah, it's, at the end of the day, it's Hollywood sort of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be very awkward if your party dies 3/4 through the movie. You're like, well, movie's over.
Well, they could, and if they had have done that though, they could have actually panned out to an actual group sitting at a table.
Yeah, so people
and
have
basically
been talking about that as well.
Up.
Yeah, but it's like, do you want that or do you want to live in the world?
Yeah, but it's a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's kind of like...
I was actually surprised they didn't, honestly.
Yeah.
I like the Lego movie when it's like...
I was literally going to say, the Lego movie does it.
I just watched the second Lego movie, so it's fresh in my
And
mind.
also, I hate
the
that.
first one.
I hate that about the Lego movie.
Yeah.
I hate it when they zoom out and they're like, it's super glue in real life. They're using it in the Lego world.
The Craggle. No, I actually like that. And there was a part in the second Lego movie where he gets like dropped on the floor and like kicked around, and he's just like a Lego piece is getting kicked around. Then it has like the two Lego guys fighting, and it's just like them smacking against each other with the Lego plastic noises. Yeah. It's great.
I genuinely feel like the differences that are in Dungeons and Dragons are just there to progress the movie the way they are. They had, I think, they could have gone a little bit more hardcore D&D, but I think it would have been less commercial.
Yeah,
like, the where it is now, people can watch it. Like the best way I summed it up is it's got the same energy as Pirates of the Caribbean, and like it's a fun romp adventure. It's not going to fucking set the world on fire with any in-depth plot or anything like that. It's all setups for cool things. That's it.
Well, to refer to something you said earlier, it's entertaining.
Yes,
but in 10 years you're not going to remember it.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I think actually, I think D&D. I think the D&D movie has legs. I think a lot of people didn't go see it on day one. People took a while. Like it stayed in cinemas for like 3 months. Even we went to the preview screening, which was a month in advance, and we're like, and then when it came out, I'm like, is it out? Because like no one's talking about this, and then eventually you see people like, oh, I finally went and saw it. I thought it was good, or yeah, I went and saw it. It's okay, and whatever. It's just like I think that kind of movie. It was hard to convince people to go see it. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Nah, I don't want to see that.
Oh, I don't want to see that. Yeah.
So
they
that's
just
like
had to say that it's got Regé-Jean Page in it, and I
didn't know who that is.
Board.
But so what they did
so
with
pretty.
the flip side to like the Mario thing, where they kind of changed it around and did influences on the day. We saw it a month in advance. Some people saw it 3 weeks in advance. Some people saw it 2 weeks in advance because they had events on every week for an entire month leading up to the movie, trying to convince people to go see this movie.
Yeah.
And people didn't go see it on day one because that took a while for word of mouth to spread and people to go see it and so on. So I think that's the difference where I think people will be watching it and they'll make another one. Like it maybe, I hope they do a different cast.
Yeah, me too.
I like maybe have it like maybe some of the cast rock up and like in the tavern or something like that, whatever. But like they focus on a new cast because then they could go crazy. They could do one every couple of years. It's a whole new campaign every time.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. But that's why I actually wish they had have done the pan out to an actual group.
Yeah, I kind of wish
they could have gone. Yep, okay, that's where we're ending this session.
Yeah,
close the book. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
And then they open the book for the next movie and they start again.
So slight spoilers for the end of the movie, but kind of wish they stayed dead.
Yeah.
Not saying they who, but it is that person that dies should stay dead because that would have been a more fitting end to the movie.
What was cool when
they wouldn't have had wish spells.
What was cool when it was pointed out to me is that in the combat, in the end fight, it's all in 6-second rounds.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool once I saw that explained. I had to see it explained though. I wouldn't have picked up otherwise.
Yeah, they did the lore. So
it was neat.
Yeah, I think in every aspect, Dungeons and Dragons the movie, they did the right thing. Like they did their homework, they did everything right. Because we can flip it. Let's flip it. Our favorite movie we love to talk about, the Monster Hunter movie.
I hate that movie.
Fantastic
so
movie.
Fucking much.
So great.
Oh, it's awful.
For those who haven't seen it, just go watch Pitch Black. It's a much better movie. It's almost identical. And then fire up Monster Hunter afterwards and watch the intro sequence, and that's the Monster Hunter movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's those 8 seconds of Monster Hunter are fantastic. The rest of the movie, I don't know what was going on. It's like they didn't know. it's questionable whether or not they've seen the game before.
Yeah. Well, it's like Assassin's Creed.
Same thing. It's like it's questionable. But also,
Like,
okay,
that was an enjoyable movie, but they missed a lot.
The best
it
part
was
of
a
that
good
movie was the people doing parkour on the buildings
Exactly.
who are nothing characters, nothing to do with the story, and don't have any dialogue.
You're waiting for them to fall off.
They announced that they're not doing a sequel and they're rebooting Assassin's Creed while Assassin's Creed was in the movie still. They're doing a TV show now. It's coming, but who knows with Ubisoft? They're all over the place.
I mean, this is Hollywood. They're doing everything into a TV series now.
Yes. And it's my favorite topic. And I've gone through my list of known 100 video games coming to the small screen or large screen. But my favorite is the Borderlands movie.
It's never coming. It's not happening.
It's fantastic that we're in May and we still haven't seen a trailer for a movie that wrapped filming in 2021.
So is it live action or is it
live action?
Edited?
Live action.
Oh.
Have you seen anything? Well, you haven't seen anything because they haven't posted nothing apart from like silhouettes or whatever. But like Claptrap is fucking Jack Black. Got fucking I'm gonna look up this cast because it's been so long. It's been 2021. It's so fucking stupid, I tell you. But it's so the way it wrapped up in 2021, right? Then they did test screenings. Some of the lowest.
It's an Eli Roth.
It's
wow.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh no, I'm just surprised he'd put his name to something like that.
Yes. Okay. So there's a lot there, which I'm gonna fuck it up, but just ad-libbing it. But movie filmed, done. They went test screenings. Awful. It's awful. Did more test screenings. Did a recut. Awful. Did reshoots. Still bad. Awful. The last screen test that they did was in November last year that I know of.
Yep.
Awful.
Yeah. Now they're actually. I'm just reading up now. That it's actually been taken over by Tim Miller of Deadpool.
Correct. So they fired Eli Roth.
Oh.
Ouch.
Put in Tim Miller. Told him the movie's garbage. You need to go fix this, and gave him a new budget to go refilm part of the movie to make it better. But the saying is a saying for a reason, which is there's only so much you can polish a turd.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's wild. So yeah, it's been really bad, but it's like it's been sitting on a shelf for now a year and a half. No trailer, no teaser trailer, no nothing. Then there's no guarantee that it's coming out. It's as simple as that. So meanwhile, right, while this is happening, they filmed all that in 2021. Since then, they filmed The Last of Us. They released The Last of Us. And then everyone went, fuck me, video games can be really good on TV. and then there's this poor bastard sitting there going, well, I've done the Borderlands, but it's not that good.
Well, Hollywood's never really had a good background and experience doing video games at all. Like, you look at the old Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, but also that
Street Fighter.
Yes. Well, yes. There's look. This topic is. I'm actually. I'm been sitting on the fence for so long, being like, I should just make a YouTube series about this because I know so much about video games turned movies. Like Far Cry. There's a movie for Far Cry. But it's like the thing is, so the way it worked was in the 80s and 90s, there was like 3 people who were like, I can play video games and I can turn these into movies. And they made like 10 movies each. Blood Rain, Street Fighter, Far Cry, fucking, like they just went and made them. Alone in the Dark. They're all terrible. They all got less than 10% out of 100. And they're awful, but they're like, we don't have to write them. We've got all we don't have to come up with the idea. We can do it. Then you got the Resident Evil thing where fucking Mila Jovovich just needed a job. So her husband made a movie and then made 10 of them just to keep her employed. And then when they ran out of Resident Evil, they tried Monster Hunter. It's like, there's this whole science to it, but then there's also this second wave coming where Sony's trying to create the cinematic universe and they have the rights to Destiny. They want to turn Destiny into a movie series. Like they've brought them. People forget that
Sony have rights to the Destiny.
Yeah,
Um,
only brought
wow.
fucking Bungie ages ago.
I didn't.
But they
I hadn't heard of that merger.
They completely went hands off. Like it's just happening. So they continue to do it because everyone's like, oh no, Destiny's going Sony exclusive. But no, they're like, we don't care. What they're interested in is the property because they want to make mixed media to go with it. They want a TV show. They want an anime. They want fucking everything to go with their cinematic universe. It's $3 billion about this time last year.
So how long do you reckon it'll be before Sony and Bungie does the jump again?
So Sony's also got, Sony's big one they're pushing and working on is the God of War TV show.
Yeah.
They're like,
That'll be good if they can pull that one off.
It could be good. Sure.
Could be.
Horizon Zero Dawn as well. But they kind of had that misstep because Uncharted didn't do well. And Uncharted was meant to be the start. They got this whole big Sony entertainment intro that plays before it, like, check out Sony movies, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're trying, but they need a breakout hit to do it. And yeah, I don't think Gran Turismo is going to be that. Talked about that already. I'm still going to see it. I don't give a shit. Destiny's interesting. The whole Destiny thing is it's been done to death already. People talk about it daily because
I reckon there'd be more legs in Destiny than there would be for a lot of the other
Destiny
franchises.
has so many problems, mainly around the
Still
fact
won't be as bad as Halo though.
well, Halo Series 2 is coming. The TV show, they did it,
Oy.
filmed. It's coming. I watched the Halo show, TV show. I was asked to. Because I didn't do it by my own free will. I was coerced into watching it from Paramount.
We love you, Paramount.
It's an excellent sci-fi show, but it is no Halo show.
Yeah, exactly.
If they had called that Stargate Next Generation, whatever, it would have been decent.
Yeah, and basically taken off the chief suits and whatnot.
They don't even need to
basically
take them off. Just paint them a different color and call it something else. There's so little Halo in that show that they could have just called it something else, and it would be good.
And like just change his designation on the actual suit as well.
But as a sci-fi show, not as a Halo show.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you like sci-fi, you're fine. You'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But also, like, I forgot halfway through that I was watching a Halo show. I was like, oh yeah, this is MasterChef. He's doing stuff. Look at him doing stuff. I haven't seen him because he hasn't put his helmet on in 3 episodes. Fucking hell. But it's interesting. Like, I think I will go ahead and do a show because, like I said, I've got a list of 100 games that are in progress, and some of them is they just like a studio will buy the rights to it. You know, someone brought the rights to Mortuary Assistant recently. Like, I'm going to make that into a TV show.
Oh,
That's
would
going to
be
be a
amazing.
trash show, though. I don't think it's going to be done well.
That's the one you want to get Eli Roth on.
Like, yeah. But also, how do you do it when it has like multiple ways to play?
It has a story that plays through every single. It's got like a linear story.
Yeah.
You can have a different ending where you like die, become a demon, or you live, but otherwise, it's all the same.
This is Stanley, and it goes through basically Stanley's night.
That'd be cool. I'd watch
This
that.
is Rebecca. Goes through Rebecca's night, and like it basically, they could do it so it's like each mortuary assistant is an episode.
Yeah,
They could do that.
And their outcome, like they go, oh, whatever happened to that Rebecca? And there's then basically they can then flash back to a previous episode and stuff like that.
I'm only thinking that if there was going to be a TV show, they'll probably expand on the lore and stuff that is in the background that you see through all the notes. Like, he traveled the world to find a cure for the demons.
Bingo.
There's a demon in his basement locked up in a wooden chest that he doesn't want to kill, and all these like different things.
Like he'd go down to the basement and the coffin is open. It's like, where did it go?
Yeah.
But I want to know more about Grandma.
Yes. Yeah. What's with Grandma? Also, have you ever listened to the radio station in Mortuary Assistant, like to the extent of it? It has
No.
Okay, so it has one song that plays on repeat, and the developer just says at the end, he's just like, this is the one song radio station. You're still listening to the one song. And that, it changes at the end of every playthrough of the song. I think it does it like 3 times. He's like, why are you still listening? This is uncomfortable. Maybe some stuff about that guy.
Oh, basically, it flashes to him sitting in his booth, going, "Why are they still listening?"
I'm gonna play the same song one more time, just in case. That's good. It's a good joke.
It'll be interesting, but it's like a lot of time they get snapped up, and then because they're snapped up, then if it doesn't go through, then other studios can't have a go because it's not theirs. I was just looking at it. It's attached Jeremiah Kipp, who I've never heard of before. He's made some small indie kind of horror stuff and like that. He's attached to direct, and they're working with the game studio on a script.
Okay, as long as they're working with the studio.
Put it on the list. 101.
It's on the list.
So, but yeah, no, it's not. Borderlands is my favorite one because it's just obviously a huge dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And to see things like the Mario movie cross $1 billion while they're sitting on this fucking game script that they can't get it, it's painful.
It's funny.
It's like so. It's what? I know we need to take an ad break in a second, but there's the Pokemon like live action TV show coming, Pokemon, and then they announced it, and it's like some hotel spin-off story thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's not what we thought it was going to be.
It's not what we wanted.
It's where at the same time, Detective Pikachu is like the most 50-50. People either love it or hate it, but everyone who dislikes it is because of the ending.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
It's good until that point.
Which sucks because they had Detective Pikachu 2 lined up. Because they're like, this could make money, we could do a sequel. But then it's like, don't like the ending. And that's kind of where we have to start for the sequel.
I don't even know how they would spin that ending into a new start for a sequel.
Just do a different. Oh, you can't because it's
It
called
was
Detective
all
Pikachu.
amnesia.
They should just do like
It was all a dream.
Should do like, oh no, they can't. They can't do anything. They've boxed themselves in with a stupid fucking ending.
They have boxed themselves in. It's dumb.
I'm like, can they do a new Pikachu? No, not really. Can they do a different character? Not really, because it's Detective Pikachu.
Or you just have like just
prequel.
snippings
They can always go prequel
out of the movie, and Pikachu's like, wakes up like it was an old nightmare.
Normal nightmare.
No. But this is our weekly news wrap up in the way of Sht Towns Australia, so it doesn't usually hold back.
This is
so
like
we're gonna get started.
Some people, you know how some programs have great travel destinations. This is the opposite. Stay away.
And this is great, I think, because a lot of our listeners are like overseas in Belgium and stuff. Yeah, so
they all want to go to Port Pirie.
So number 10 is Port Pirie. Still shit because of the lead in the water. Everyone has lead poisoning.
Well, apparently it's in the air, but
in the air, they're breathing it in.
They just absorb it. Port Pirie shit.
For number 9 is frequent flyer, Launceston, Tasmania. Screeching woman was arrested after allegedly smashing windows of 15 plus shops with a hammer.
Holy crap. That's a real Karen move.
That seems normal for Launceston.
Hammer!
Said that she was screaming as well. There could have been something going on there.
Is that out of the left head or the right head, though?
Oh, okay. Tasmanians have 2 heads, see? Yeah. You've never been to Tasmania, have you?
No.
It's weird when you go down there. It's like a weird world. 2 heads on every one of them. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it.
It's true. Prove me wrong.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right. It's fine. This one is going to be great because we just mentioned this sort of scenario on the break. Number 8 is Newcastle, New South Wales. Drunk driver crashes into a parked cop car. 3 weeks in a row. This keeps happening.
Wait, did he get caught?
No, it doesn't give me any info, but it happened again. That's it.
Stop crashing into the cops. They're going to catch you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because if their cars are disabled, then they're not going to be able to go very fast.
I'm pretty sure, was it last week that someone like dropped a fat burnout because they saw a cop and they got arrested? Hey, quick, let's do something illegal.
I have additional information, although most of it's behind a paywall, but the person who crashed into the parked police car was 3 times the blood alcohol limit. So he was real drunk.
They just thought it was driving and then stopped.
Yeah.
They thought they were playing the Need for Speed, and well, they weren't.
It was Hot Pursuit.
Absolutely.
Oh no, it stopped Pursuit.
Next up, though, is also Tasmania, Queenstown, Tasmania. A drongo appears in court after smashing window and coffee table during a threesome.
What?
Window and a coffee table.
Why are they in court?
I don't know. It sounds
Is it
passionate. Maybe it just went
A
wrong.
threesome's illegal? I mean, in Tasmania, it's usually they're related, but you know.
Let's
I
see.
was going to say.
Damn it, all these paywalls.
I'm
I'll never
sorry.
know.
Sorry, Tasmanian listeners. I'm sorry.
Okay, so during the threesome, it ended up being a physical assault.
Oh.
So threesome went wrong. That's why things got smashed.
But why just one window and one coffee table?
Maybe they only have one window.
Was
one
it
coffee
like
table, I don't know.
was it like they
Hmm.
invited someone over to have a threesome and then that person trashed the house, so now they're suing them? Or is it like they had a fight?
I don't know. We can't get more information, unfortunately, because of paywalls.
I like to think that they it was an altercation that turned into a threesome. So they were beating the
That'd be
crap out of
romantic.
each other, and then they accidentally ripped the
Make up
clothes
threesome.
off, and then then one thing leads to another, and they.
Oh, I have court documents. And his Instagram.
Why do you have his Instagram?
I don't know. It was the only one that came up.
How many heads?
Okay, so here's the court documents. You pleaded guilty to one count of unlawfully injuring property on 2nd of August 2021. So this is pretty old, but the case was recent. You and 3 others were drinking together at a residence in Queenstown. An argument developed. This is a dispute about the subject matter of the argument. He went into the home of one of the people who had been drinking, gained access to the home by smashing a window. So this is after the threesome he got into their house. Then he flipped over a small glass table, causing it to smash. The compensation that he has to pay is $108.83.
They had a threesome, and then the next day or later on, there was a fight.
Yes.
Oh, I just thought that both were happening at the same time.
No, that's just disappointing.
So along with the $108 that he had to pay for the damages, he also had to pay $800 in fines. So there's the context.
Okay, that's fair. So it's a break-in. It's not a threesome.
No, unfortunately, I think that was a bit exaggerated by Sht Towns of Australia. How
Okay.
dare they? But it is
Damn.
funny to hit that headline. All right, next one is Gold Coast, Queensland, number 6.
goddamn.
Cops pelted with bricks and rocks by a pack of masked hoons, and a gronk allegedly punches Woolies manager after being busted trying to steal a box of shapes.
What shapes? What flavor? It's important.
I hope it was pizza. If it was pizza, it makes sense to me.
It's not
No,
worth
it's
it.
barbecue,
It's not worth
definitely
it for chicken crimpies.
Yeah. Well, chicken crimpies are not bad.
They're not good
I don't
either.
mind them. I've got an article here, but hopefully it is not paywalled.
Come
Yeah,
on,
it's definitely
barbecue.
paywalled. It's paywalled.
Come on,
Dang
barbecue.
it. There is an image that was used on an article, and it has the barbecue sauce on the image.
Yes.
So let's just assume that
We're taking barbecue.
Yeah, that's it. But next is number 5, Maroochydore, Queensland. Security guard goes into cardiac arrest after being headbutted in a shopping centre.
Jesus
Poor
Christ.
bloke. What is up with Queensland?
He was 2
What
days
can I
away
say?
from retirement.
Oh, well.
Anyway, moving along.
They were looking for a box of shapes.
Emerald away from Gold Coast.
Next up is Victoria's first mention.
No.
And it is Glen Waverley, Victoria. Gronk was arrested after turning up to court in a stolen car full of guns, drugs, and cash. What a ride.
Okay, yeah.
That's Glen Waverley.
Obviously, he didn't think he was going to, he was just turning up for a short appearance. He's on his way.
On his way to do drugs and fire guns. Something.
After we finish here, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
Mate,
party.
He's like, Judge, I didn't have any guns or drugs or anything. Please let me go. I have to go do drugs and guns and stuff.
Number 3 is Delby, Queensland. Thugs shoot tradie while stealing his truck before running over a motorcyclist during a police chase.
Jesus Christ.
That sounds like some straight up GTA.
I was going to say, that's some GTA shit.
That's.
I
I'm
was
pretty
about
sure
to
that's a
say
mission.
Dobby's out the middle of Whoop Whoop as well. So
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was confused. He was playing
yeah,
GTA.
GTA RP VR. There you go.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting because this town in Victoria is like the Townsville of Victoria, really, because Queensland is always Townsville, and then Victoria is always Shepparton.
Oh no, not Shep.
In Shepparton, feral woman attacks elderly man in Kmart.
I mean, have they ever seen outside Kmart?
Are they all feral in Shepparton?
Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know anyone who goes to Shepparton by choice.
No, I've never been there by choice. But number one is the frequent flyer, the champion, Townsville, Queensland. A few things.
The champion.
I love that Critters here comes with sound effects. It's great. Townsville, Queensland. Homeless man set on fire by homeless woman after asking her for sexual favor. A woman was stabbed in the ear during a street brawl. And cops seek horny thieves who use stolen credit card to buy sex toys, flavored lube, and dick pills.
Man, Townsville sounds like it's fucking popping off. I just imagine driving the streets
before or after the pills.
Well, yeah, I'm just imagining driving the streets, watching homeless people either getting it on or getting on fire, and just looting.
Somebody stabbing somebody in the ear.
Must be a sex shop in every corner. People looting, throwing fucking flaming garbage bins around.
Hitting cop cars when they're drunk. That usually happens.
That Townsville? Is that what it's like?
Yeah, it's happened there.
I don't think I've ever been there. Maybe we should go there for episode 100. We'll go Townsville, live from the streets. There'll be somebody coming up. You got any cigs there? You got any cigs?
Our podcast equipment would be
dick
stolen
pills?
immediately.
Either that or you'd be set on fire, one of the two.
If we don't give them our dick pills, then yeah. What a fucking what! I'm looking up Townsville to see what it looks like because I can't even picture it now. I just see a dystopian Judge Dredd society, people fighting. I don't know. Wow, it looks really pretty.
So the people who used the stolen card to go on a spree of horny items have not yet been caught.
Wow. Well, you gotta look for the man with the. I'm sorry. I just fucking. You ever see like Florida Man?
Yeah, Townsville Man.
I just typed in Townsville Man. I am not disappointed. Holy crap. That is excellent. Oh my God. Number one is something else. Okay.
I like this news article also says that they have a penchant for pain. So I'm assuming that they bought things like whips and stuff as well for that headline to exist.
It's not that man walking down the street as a BDSM marks, I swear.
The guy in the gimp suit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but that's Sht Towns of Australia for the week.
Townsville though, man. It's going to become Sht Towns of Townsville.
Yeah. How do you feel about Sht Towns of Australia, Crit? How was your first Sht Towns experience?
Shitty.
Yeah, that's damn right.
I could see one that's going to be next week, I think.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No, it's a clip that showed up where there was a guy tried to ride off on his motorcycle and they just tased the shit out of him. He eats shit from it.
Oh no.
So funny. It's like that guy that I think that was Wollongong or something, where the guy jumped off the bridge and then the cop managed to hit the taser midair. So he got tased on the way off a bridge into the river.
That's impressive.
He would have still been zappy when he landed.
He kept going. He's a fucking machine. But yeah, no, it's Sht Towns, like we said this last week. I think it was last week before. It's like we're not getting any kind of sponsorship for any travel agencies or anything like that. We just talking mad shit. Maybe one week we should do 10 best towns of Australia. It's just
we need like a wholesome news companion to the Sht Towns of Australia.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like these are the best places based on good stuff happening. It's not going to be any of that. Oh man! Anyway, we should definitely wrap things up as we are at time, and I think everyone here is probably hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Some people have been playing Zelda for 9 hours.
I start my diet again tomorrow. I'm gonna eat like crap tonight. Woo!
You've been playing Zelda? No way.
Do you want to hear about it?
Sure.
No,
it's like it's
gonna be hungry for you to talk about.
It's gonna become the new meme. It's like, how can you tell someone's playing Zelda? Because I'll fucking tell you.
Zelda players are the new vegans.
Absolutely.
It's true. let's do wrap things up, and we'll do the rounds and do a bit of a plug yourself. Shelby, what are you up to? What's happening this week? What's going
I've
on?
been playing Subnautica for charity with people being able to fuck with my game. So you can come to Shell Bunny at Twitch to see me get messed with. Otherwise, I've just been doing my usual, playing lots of Shadows of Doubt. Got my website, pixelnook.net, and you can find me at shellbunny_ on Twitter, which is where most of my stuff is. Also, I have an Instagram account now, actually. Yeah, shellbunny_ on Instagram. That's new.
Underscore.
Ooh.
Yeah, not cool enough to have not an underscore.
Crit. What are you up to? What's your
I've
plans?
got nothing major on Friday night, but we do have the 12-hour Crit Orbits the Sun again on Saturday, where we'll be doing marbles and nitro stream racing. I'm hoping to be able to do the push to affiliate with Captain TV.
Oh, okay, cool.
Basically, that starts at 11:30 Brisbane local time, and we'll basically go 12 hours from there.
Nice.
Awesome.
I have a very, very busy week. Lots of things going on. Starts with Zelda.
Busy week.
Is one of them Crime Boss Rocco City?
No.
Never again.
But in the same tone of movie jam-packed with A-list stars and shit plot, I am going to the preview screening for The Fast and the Furious.
I'm not going.
The start of the end of the road is the tagline, which is awful. I hate it.
So you mean there's going to be 10 more movies? Got it.
Well, it's one more after this one. And I didn't get to bring it up, but I did want to mention that the one thing that they said wouldn't happen for Fast and the Furious, no matter what, because Vin Diesel and The Rock don't want to be in a movie again, apparently is broken.
Oh.
And The Rock is back to see the end of another franchise.
Jesus.
I guess his DC contract ran up.
I don't think he's going to be Adaming anytime soon.
No, so I think he's... You ever see the episode of The Simpsons when Homer goes back for his job and he has to go through the doggy door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he comes out all covered in coal and
Vin
whatnot.
Diesel's sitting there in his fucking gold-plated Groot jacket going, "Oh, welcome back. How was your trip?" So yeah, it's interesting. I am seeing that, so we'll talk about that on the podcast next week. Playing lots of Zelda. I will hopefully getting my cooking stream done this week. We are doing custard time, all this stupid shit we're doing for charity. Still raising money for charity. There is more milestones added. We're at over $1,000 on my channel alone. So lots of stupid shit. Many streams trying to catch up to you idiots who keep donating to charity. You motherfuckers. How dare
Don't
you?
insult the donors. Very lovely.
They know who they are.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering what custard time is, I have 6 liters of custard, and I'm going to do what Chug does. You don't know what Chug does? He's a cow.
He's a cow.
Yes.
Chug dips his whole head in the bucket of milk to drink when he's drinking out of a bucket, and he almost drowns himself.
But next week, headline reads, "Streamer drowns in custard."
Yeah.
But seriously though, thanks for hanging out today, Crit. Hopefully you can come back another time.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for for the D&D shenanigans as well. And it's been another week. I'm gonna go play. Sorry, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna play Zelda. I'm gonna be honest.
You gotta go play Zelda.
I'm gonna go play Zelda.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.